Hi, I'm Loren from Intentional Acting. And today's technique that I want to talk about is how to make your work more personal, how to connect into your character a lot more. So do you ever find yourself thinking, oh, my character would, or the character, they would, or he would, or she would? Or do you ever get a note that they're like saying, I think it's got to be more natural, you're acting a little too much, or keep it simpler. So any of those notes generally lean towards somebody who's kind of not putting themselves in the scene. And maybe you've even gotten that note, like, put yourself more in the scene. Well, how do you do that? That's the question we ask at Intentional Acting over and over again, which is, how do you do that? Because I, as an actor, have gotten so many notes that I had no idea, like, okay, sure, but I didn't know how to do that. So how do you put yourself in the scene? Well, I was working with an actor this morning, and it was a really good take he had, but it just felt a little too charactery. And I was like, I need to see more of you in this scene. And he said, well, how do I do that? I'm like, great question. And that's the question that actors should be asking of their teachers. How do I do that? So how do you bring yourself, how do you make your scene more personal, more connected to your scene? And one of the big red flags, and he just kept talking about, well, his character did this. Well, my character, and he would do this, and talking about his character in the third person. Okay, you want to, in my 9 questions of intentional acting, I start with the first question. It's all about being in the third person. It's about kind of looking into the fishbowl, right? Or watching the television show or watching the movie. So I'm going to step out and be in the third person and get really clear on the circumstances of the scene. So I'm really, really clear of what the facts are and the circumstances of the scene. But then question number 2, which is, how do I relate to it? And this question is just not asked enough by actors. Just ask yourself, how do I relate to this character, or what would it be like? And so instead of talking about your character in the third person, start talking about your character from the first person of, like, well, what would that be like? Have I ever had this situation before? We were talking about a scene that took place during Thanksgiving. It's a great month for that, November. But it was like, and I said, well, have you ever had to work on Thanksgiving? Have you ever had to do something? Or what would it be like if you didn't have food to feed your kids and now you have to work on Thanksgiving? And he's going, oh, okay, I get it. I go, now think of the experience of that. What's the experience of that? And feel the experience in your body, feel the experience, see the experience with your eyes, and go through all your 5 senses of the experience of it. Now live that experience in your character, in the scene. And think about it as my character is me and I. And drop all that homework, which is my character would do this. Drop it and start saying, I would do this, and how do I live in there, and find how you relate to your character. I'm going to say it again. I just don't see enough actors asking themselves, how do I relate to this character? How do I relate to this situation? That's really the key, and how you can make your scenes personal. So I hope this technique helps you. Love to get your feedback. Tell me, ask any questions, or tell me if it works or it doesn't work for you. And good luck with all your self-tapes and auditions. I'm wishing you lots of bookings and callbacks.